The Curse of Shadows, The Cursed Basement. Chapter 1, The Mysterious Invitation. On a cold December night, Adam sat in his office, surrounded by old papers, sipping a cup of black coffee. He was a private investigator, specializing in mysterious cases, having left the police force due to an incident he could never forget. He was passionate about the unknown, and his only fear was dying without solving the greatest mystery of his life. As he reviewed some old files, his phone rang. The number was unknown. He hesitated for a moment but decided to answer. "Adam," came a tense female voice. "Yes, who's speaking?" "My name is Layla. I need your help. It's serious. Take a deep breath and tell me, what's the problem?" "It's the mansion, the one in Black Meadows Village. It's cursed, and the curse isn't over." "You mean the Najm family mansion?" Adam asked, feeling a shiver run down his spine. He had heard many stories about that place. "Yes. My family disappeared there 10 years ago, and no one ever found them. But now, I can hear their voices at night." Adam paused. The story was familiar. People whispered about the mansion for decades. They said anyone who entered never returned and that vengeful spirits roamed its halls. But he wasn't one to believe in superstitions easily. "Where can I meet you?" "At the Old Town Cafe, tomorrow at 7 p.m. Then, she hung up before he could ask any more questions. At that moment, Adam had no idea that this call would lead him to the greatest mystery of his life. Chapter 2, The Road to the Unknown. The next evening, Adam arrived at the cafe. The place was quiet, with only a few customers scattered around. He sat in a corner and ordered a cup of coffee. Minutes later, a woman wearing a long black coat entered. Her eyes were filled with fear. She approached and sat across from him. "Did you come alone?" she asked in a whisper. "Yes, as you requested." She took a deep breath and said, "I know you like investigating mysterious cases, but this isn't just any case. There is something evil inside that mansion, something beyond explanation." "What exactly happened?" "In 2014, my family visited the mansion. It was abandoned, and my father wanted to buy it and turn it into a hotel. But that night, they all vanished. The police searched everywhere and found nothing, as if they had disappeared into thin air." "And what about you? Why weren't you with them?" "I was at university. When I returned, all I found was the mansion's door wide open and a faint light coming from inside. I didn't dare go in." Adam took out his notebook and wrote everything down. "All right, I'll go to the mansion tomorrow. Will you come with me?" Her eyes widened in terror. "No. I will never step foot in that place again. But I'll show you the way." Adam nodded. He knew this wouldn't be an ordinary investigation. Chapter 3, The Haunted Mansion. The next morning, Adam drove toward Black Meadows Village. The road was deserted, and the sky was filled with dark clouds. When he arrived, the village seemed almost abandoned, as if its people had long since left. He stood before the mansion, taking a deep breath before stepping forward. The two-story building was massive, its ancient carvings eroded by time. It looked as if it defied age itself, yet it radiated an eerie sense of fear. He pushed open the heavy wooden door, which creaked loudly. Inside, he turned on his flashlight. Dust covered the walls, and tattered curtains swayed slightly in the cold air. The temperature was unnaturally low. As he walked through the corridors, he suddenly heard footsteps behind him. He spun around quickly, no one was there. Then, a whisper echoed through the air. "Leave." He froze, then called out loudly. "Who's there?" Silence. But he could feel something watching him. He pressed on until he reached the basement, the place where the family had disappeared. Chapter 4, The Cursed Basement. As he descended the stone staircase into the basement, his breath became heavy. The air was thick, and the stench was unbearable. At the bottom of the stairs, he found a rusted iron door. He pushed it open with difficulty. What he saw made him stumble back in shock. A large circle was drawn in dried blood on the floor, with a human skull placed at its center. Strange symbols were carved into the walls. Then, the whisper returned. "You're next." Suddenly, his flashlight went out, plunging him into darkness. He tried to turn it back on, but the battery, fully charged moments ago, was now dead. Then, he felt a cold hand grip his wrist tightly. He tried to pull away, but he couldn't move. Suddenly, black candles lit themselves around the room, revealing a tall shadowy figure with no features, its glowing red eyes locked onto him. A deep voice echoed. "You're too late. The curse has already begun." A sharp pain exploded in Adam's head, and he collapsed to the ground, screaming. Chapter 5: The Terrifying Truth. Adam woke up in his apartment, gasping for breath. He looked around. He was home, as if everything had been a dream. But something felt wrong. When he looked at his hand, he saw it was covered in blood. He ran to the bathroom and looked in the mirror, only to see a reflection that wasn't his own. Behind him, the shadowy figure stood, grinning. It whispered. "The curse is inside you now. And it will never leave." At that moment, the lights flickered and went out, and Adam was swallowed by the eternal darkness. Final chapter: The Confrontation with the Curse. Adam stood in the bathroom, staring at his reflection. But it wasn't really him. A dark shadow loomed behind him, smirking, its red eyes glowing. He tried to move, but his body was frozen. A strange energy surrounded him, holding him in place. The whispers echoed again. "You are ours now. No escape." But Adam refused to surrender. He began chanting verses his grandmother had taught him long ago. Suddenly, the room shook violently, the lights flickered, and the mirror reflected terrifying visions. He saw the Najm family trapped in a magical circle, screaming silently. The shadowy figure grew larger and more powerful. "You've crossed the line, Adam," it roared. But Adam wasn't afraid anymore. He realized the curse thrived on fear. Summoning all his strength, he declared, "I will free them." A blinding light burst from his body, shattering the darkness. The entity screeched and vanished. Suddenly, he was back in the basement, with Layla and her family, alive and free. The mansion crumbled behind them. Layla smiled through her tears. "You saved us." Adam smirked. "I think you owe me a coffee." She laughed. "I think you deserve much more." Adam took out his phone, looked at the camera, and grinned. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. More mysteries are coming soon. The end, or just the beginning?